I'm Sarah Myerscough, and this is the Insurance Brokers Podcast, where we're talking to the personalities and the businesses that sit behind our industry. If you like what you hear, please hit subscribe on your chosen podcast streaming platform. Good morning, Janthana. Thank you very much for joining me on the Insurance Brokers Podcast. I am really looking forward to hearing about your journey in the business that is Tapoly. Do you want to give us a bit of an introduction about who you are and what Tapoly does?
Thank you so much, Sarah, for inviting me. My name is Janthana Kaenprakhamroy, and I'm one of the co-founder of a company called Tapoly. We provide technology solutions for the insurance industry, and in the UK, we are fully licensed as MGA, stand for Managing General Agent, and we offer commercial liability insurance products for micro-SME and freelancer.
Fabulous. So you guys started in 2016, was it?
That's correct, yes.
And I know from our previous conversations that you have hit and overcome every obstacle that could possibly be thrown at you. And I'm really interested, and I'm sure people listening as well are, to hear what those obstacles were and how you overcame them, because there's a lot of people facing similar now. Do you want to talk us through your journey from the beginning and kind of what happened?
Yes. Tapoly was born at the back of my own personal experience of being an insurance customer, trying to find insurance that are not standardized. On-demand insurance for Airbnb is what I was looking for. And in those days, this concept didn't really exist to have, like something short terms. So we set up Tapoly to serve the entire kind of, alternative, non-traditional insurance product solutions.
What I meant was, who set it up, you and who? Where's the insurance expertise come from, and what does the board look like?
Yes. Tapoly was set up by, like my co-founder and myself. My co-founder is he's from tech background, and I'm from investment banking background. We both, when we first started, we decided, to go through a couple of accelerator programs to up our skills, as well as, we use that time to really refine our value proposition. And find partner is very useful to, kind of having that network and ecosystem to help you with all things you need in order to gain understanding and also set up regulated Insurtech business.
Absolutely. So during COVID, you hit a bit of a blocker. Do you want to talk us through it and how you overcame it?
Obviously, as a digital technology players, as a company, we are less impacted by the whole COVID itself. I think what is impacted us more is the hard market, which happened around 2019. And before that, it was Brexit. Brexit limit our ability to work with some of our partners that would require us to be an MGA and hold MGA license outside the UK. So, we've gone from wanting to be an international company and reduce our size to UK based only. That's the beginning. But it didn't stop us, we then kind of, pivot our business to focus on the technology solution, which we then able to launch to the international crowd. So from there, we've gone from being UK centric, having an MGA platform to internal SaaS solution.
Fabulous.
And yes, and then of course, COVID, when it hits, it does impact some of the project that we work on, because suddenly insurance company are no longer want to continue or invest in new development, new product development, or technology solution. So it was the period where it was very quiet for the technology solution. So today we've got a geo value proposition in the UK. We provide technology solution and the MGA service, where we offer our own insurance product to consumer direct. and by a broker. So
Wow.
we've got both wholesale and retail channels here in the UK.
Wonderful. So, I think you told me in one of our previous conversations that capacity pulled out during COVID. How did you manage with that? What did you do to go from COVID, which was a tricky time anyway, through the hard market to get back to where you are now when your capacity pulls out?
There were always opportunities. Obviously, like when we had when our first binder fell through and we need to find another capacity provider, we were able to do that quickly. But the process of getting new capacity provider on board takes several months. And I think that's kind of provide additional challenge for us being, relatively early stage startup and not being well funded. So, and then of course during COVID, we saw a lot of investors pull out of the market as well, because insurance and Insurtech is probably ranking as one of the riskiest business to invest in.
Wow, I didn't know
So
that.
that's, like you get hit by both ankle. Yes, you get hit by both ankle. I think the stats what is that before COVID, 1 in 2 startup die in fintech and insurtech, but during COVID, it's nearly 75% of startups, new startup, will die during COVID. So the increase in number of startup die and fell during COVID were phenomenal, and that's why a lot of people were retract from the insurtech and fintech market during this time. But we see now that like early stage investors are coming back to reinvest.
I'm interested in this
Yeah.
because I've had quite a lot of conversations around technology and how technology drives operational efficiency. Um, so I'm interested that it's something that a lot of people went, whoa, no, I'm out. And people are starting to come back in now. Um, I'm also interested in how you started this process from a non-insurance background, but to fix a problem in the market. Um, and I love that. And I read a book a while ago, which I highly recommend, Brian Falchuk's second book. And he talks about different startups, MGAs and insurers, and how some of them have come from a non-insurance background, but to sort of fix something in the market that wasn't happening. And you're seeing a lot of talk around that now. What I'm interested in is how do you see technology changing the landscape for insurance going forward?
I think technology should be and is in everyone's agenda right now. And the reason for that is because, like there are new regulation coming out that prevent insurance company from making more money or setting their own prices. So we very limited in terms of what we can charge the customer and the risk that the increase in loss ratios, and therefore the profit margin for selling insurance to date for everyone in the industry is very, very low. And that means that operational efficiency is become a big thing. That's the only thing you can do. If you can't increase your price, you have to reduce your operation costs in order to maintain, like the same level of profit, net profit, I mean. And technology can help this. And that's the only cure, to be honest. By building, data-driven platform that automate most of your processes and reduces the number of man hours, that is the way going forward. And the whole, kind of digitization would also allow us to gather, collect, and use better data. And that data in future will have even bigger scope for automations. So AI and machine learning is big thing and is currently being deployed and used by some players. And we are using that as well in certain part of our process where it's appropriate and applicable. But going forward, we will see more uses of this. So this is where I'm very excited about the future, because I think the future of insurance would not be anything what we would expect. I think in future, you will see app bot that could literally predict what insurance at what level you should have without us having to tell them. Because if the data is there, the risk could be assessed more broadly by AI and machine learning technology. So that's what I'm excited about.
When you started in 2016, could you have foreseen that now in 2022 you'd be where you are?
No, I would say that I haven't. I was very new to the business, and I was blissfully unaware of all the challenges that I have to go through. In 2016, it was still, a good market for insurance. Hard market didn't hit us until 2019, so we've got, a couple of years. But of course, I do feel that, like we have all the challenges in single one decade. In the last 6 years, I don't think any other Insurtech that has started their business a decade before have to overcome all these challenges. And I remember it was very easy for us to raise money at the beginning of 2016, right? It was easy to find partners to commit and launch our product, but it's just that it takes such a long time, like not until like year 2 that we could properly launch the product. And then shortly after that, we got hit by Brexit, COVID, you name it. So yes, and I'm very proud to be one of very few, like still standing founders who have been around for 6 years. And the fact that, we won numerous awards. And when we first launched our first on-demand insurance platform for gig workers, we were one of the first few platforms in Europe, as a matter of fact, to be able to offer a micro insurances to micro businesses the way we did.
Wow. What's the
Yeah.
biggest lesson you learnt about yourself and about business?
Yeah.
So one of the, because I work for
Yes.
myself too,
Yeah.
one of the things that I have found very, very difficult as a business owner, as a mum, as a wife, as a human,
Yeah.
I found it very, very difficult to balance all of those priorities and to prioritize with perspective. So I lose all perspective and everything has to be done yesterday, which is really bad for mental health and stress levels.
Yeah.
And I'm still
Right.
very much a work in progress, but one of the things that I've learned about myself is that trait is extreme. So I have to put an awful lot of effort in to
Yeah.
stopping, writing a list
Yes.
for each thing, and then picking one off the top. And it's the only way I
Yeah.
can manage myself, and it needs to be that basic to be able to progress.
I am having exactly the same challenges as you from that perspective. From my personal lesson learned perspective, I've always been a workaholic. And when you start your own company, there isn't really the end of the day for me. So I could go on and marathon working for weeks without even taking weekends off. And during COVID, it's become apparent. I learned about my personality type, which I didn't think of because, for nearly the entire lockdown, I was so happily not to meet anyone. I was so happily working from home and without talking to anyone. And that is very unusual. I didn't know that about me. So self-isolation apparently is my habitat. it's, I play my string when I then have to interact with other people. And that's something that I never thought about myself. Most people see me in public eyes and they think that I'm extrovert. They got certain perception of me, but apparently whatever people think is completely the opposite of my personal and personality type and my nature.
I'm really
So
interested
in
in
many
this.
ways, I'm not a natural.
I'm really interested because I'm the same. A lot of people see me as an extrovert, and I'm not. I'm in social situations. I'm fine, but actually, sometimes I really crave just to go and live in the Outer Hebrides by myself with no technology, with nothing, and just to isolate for a little while. And I'm interested that you've sort of said a similar thing because I wonder how this fits with a lot of business owners.
Yes, I think, like you will find that a lot of senior executive will be within that kind of introvert personality type, because, like more like I'm a logistician, so mm, I'm a thinker, not feeler, and I'm very logical, and I can process only when internally. So that means I don't need a lot of, like input or noise from the outside. And when you focus on building your business and you get your personal time, that's when you are most effective. Because if I speak, I can't think. Yeah.
It's so interesting. It is so that personality typing I could talk about all day, not because I know a lot about it, just because I am
Mm.
absolutely fascinated in how different people
Yeah.
work. And I'm really fascinated in different types of business and different types of personalities and the crossover at different levels across different business types and how people make that work. I think it's fantastic. Um, one of the things that I just like to go back to, if that's okay with you, is talking. So I asked you if you could have envisaged being where you are today when you started in 2016. My next question is, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? So in 2027, if we have this conversation again, where are you and what are you doing?
Wow. In 5 years' time, I be somewhere, like having nice holiday and semi-retired from my role. But it may be too much to ask. Obviously, like we are trying to build a global platform, and what we want to do is to help the one of the world um, biggest market for the underserved customer, which is the gig economy market. So we want to be one of the Insurtech player to offer insurance and providing our technology solution for our partners so that they can operate and make profit marketing targeting this business or market segment. So that's basically our aim. The ultimate aim is to be to add value to the customer where they most need it. In terms of the technology solutions, we are now in phase 2. We completed our phase 1, I think, during COVID, and we come from being kind of a typical end-to-end InsurTech platform with API on cloud-based. So that's basically where we were, to like building the whole user interface to be able to even serve reinsurance company now, as well as insurers and all the insurance intermediary within the whole insurance ecosystem and life cycle. And then, like we now have started and implemented no code systems as part of for some part of the process. And we're going to build this up so that most of our processes would become no code. And what does it mean to our business? It means that, we're going to reduce a lot of the IT development time. We will be able to offer that ultimate customization in terms of technology solution to our partners, because they can actually build their own systems on our platform, and they don't have to know anything about tech. So that is basically the next phase of Tapoly. But that is not the end. We have developed, AI and machine learning technology in-house. This will be ongoing, and we will continue to develop it. And hopefully in a couple of years, we can commercialize this platform as a separate unit to the Insurtech platform that we currently have on offer. So it's a lot to take on. It's a grand design. We've got this grand design in our head, and we want to just get it out there and build it.
It sounds absolutely incredible. Are you happy that I put your contact details in the show notes so anybody listening that wants to get in touch to learn more about what you do and how you might be able to partner can get in contact? Are you happy with that?
Sure, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yes, we are welcome. Yes, we are here to help build the insurance ecosystems to benefit everyone in the value chain.
Amazing. On that note, Janthana, I just would like to say thank you. Thank you very much for your time today, and also for your conversation. I've enjoyed it,
Yes,
and
wonderful.
really glad to know there are people out there like me that think the same. So thank you.
Yeah. My pleasure, Sarah. I think that's why we get along really well. We've got the same value, and we have the same level of positivity energy or positive energy.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Thank you, Janthana, and I hope to do this again soon.
Thanks for listening to the Insurance Brokers podcast. We'd love to hear from you, and don't forget to subscribe on your chosen podcast streaming platform and check us out on YouTube.